Cancer today is very common. And the first thing that we think of when we hear the word cancer, the big C, is a full stop to life, a point where you can't go back. And of course, death. But that is not always true. Hello everyone and welcome to the Navin Times Talk from the Heart. Our guest today, Babita Agarwal. She is the Managing Trustee of Muskaan and a cancer survivor. And also with us we have Nanda Kare. She too is a cancer survivor. Welcome to our show. Thank you both of you for coming here. We have a lot of questions to ask you. And let us start with the first one. Babita, can you tell us a little about Muskaan?
First of all, I would like to thank Goa 365 and Navin Times, and of course you, Maria, for having us today here. I would say as representatives of Muskaan, a cancer support group, an NGO that was set up in the year 2006 by Dr. Sharmila Sardesai Korea and myself. I would like to share something very interesting, that till then Dr. Sharmila and I didn't know each other at all. There was an ad in this paper by a friend that she's going through cancer and she would like people to join her and do something back for the society. And Sharmila and I met at her place. We didn't know each other, we introduced ourselves and we just jumped to the conclusion that we need to give back, because Sharmila's mother had gone through breast cancer. I had just finished my treatment and this friend of mine also had just finished her treatment. So we were all on the same page that now that I've got a second life, both of us have got a second life, we need to give back to the society. And without having any clue as how to begin, where to begin, who's going to support us, will it be appreciated, we just decided to form Muskaan and we gave it a nice tagline, smile for there is hope. And I feel today we have tried to bring smile on many, many faces.
I'm sure you all have. And seeing you all here smiling, that is testimony to what Muskaan is doing, what has been their objective, and their outreach today is spreading all over Goa. Nanda, you too are a cancer survivor.
To start with, it's a very difficult journey, but over a period of time after doing the operation and the chemo and the radiation, then you take life easy, because the most difficult part is the chemo, but after that I think you have to as a part of life you just have to move on. You accept whatever is there and just move on and be, and of course the first and foremost I would like to say is you have to keep yourself very happy, cheerful all the time, otherwise when you keep yourself busy you just tend to forget all the other things and just start the journey all over again, because it's a new life.
It truly is. But when was your cancer detected? What type of cancer did you have?
Mine was breast cancer. This was in November 2011, so almost 11 years from now.
Right.
And I had just Dr. Sarkar had taken one workshop. It was a talk of Dr. Sarkar on cancer detection, and I just happened to just visit that talk. And when I came back home, I just realized probably I may be having kind of a lump. Till that time I was like, okay, I'm fit and fine, because I used to do yoga and always busy with some or other things. And then when I came home, I felt maybe, because he showed us, how you are supposed to check. So when I came home and I was, but just a second thought, is it me? That's a very difficult question, because you always say, okay, fine, all these things happen to some other person, never to me. Yeah. And I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of a person. And I was just wondering, and how such a thing can happen, that thing doesn't get digested in the beginning. Of course, days passed, maybe some 5 days or 10 days. This was on the 12th of November. But then, anxiety started just piling up, and I said, okay, I mean, if it is there, then what? Then on the 25th, I took doctor's appointment of Dr. V.V. Kamath, and I went there to check. And then the journey started, doing all the tests and, sonography and all the MRI and all, everything started.
So you said once you went back, you went home after Dr. Salkar's workshop.
Yeah.
You said you thought maybe you had. So you did notice earlier that there was something in your breast.
Yeah, probably I felt some kind of a lump, but my mind, I was not accepting it. But though, you're so, you're educated and all, but still, we don't accept such things.
Of course, Babita, it happens to all of us, isn't
Yes,
it?
it does.
We think it's about somebody else.
Yes.
We think that it's going to happen to someone else, not us.
Yeah.
Not us. I mean, that's the first hurdle to accept it. Now, you too are a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
How did you detect yours?
Mine is a very interesting story. See, as she said, Nanda said that we are highly educated. We will explore everything else on the net except for cancer because we think it's someone else's disease. So I had this symptom 5 months prior to being diagnosed. It was there, and I always used to feel that lump means a lump, a big thing, but this was the size of a mustard seed right sitting here. And this part we never consider as a part of the breast,
Right.
We feel the breast is a round part of your body.
Yes.
But later on, now that I'm educated and we create awareness, we tell people like, the breast area is right from your collarbone, right, it goes down, your underarms until this portion. This full square thing, chest box, is your breast area. So I had a tiny lump the size of a mustard seed here. And I would just play with it without realizing. It just happened and I used to play with it. So I was in Bombay with my homeopath for my skin condition. I've got a skin condition. So I was visiting her, and while leaving her clinic, I just told her, I said, doctor, I've got this thing for the last 5-6 months. It's come here. I feel it. I don't know what it is. So she says, why don't you go and do a mammography? I just laughed at her. I said, doctor, I'm just 39. What are you suggesting? She said, no, just do it. No, just rule out possibilities. And you won't believe, 2 months prior to that, there was a swelling in my right breast. There was a lot of pain. I was admitted in the hospital. I was given antibiotics and I was fine. So that was the second warning sign. The first was the lump that I saw. The second was the swelling of the breast. But I was unaware because I was ignorant. I didn't know that these are symptoms that could be cancerous. I thought it's just happened. I got fever and this has happened. I didn't pay much attention. And let me tell all the viewers, I paid a huge price for it. Had I detected it 5 months back, maybe I could have saved my breast. So I went for my mammography, and this radiologist was a dear friend. She stayed in our building in Mumbai, and she says, Babita, immediately she saw the reports. She didn't even wait to give it to me the next day. She said, just go and see an oncosurgeon. Again, I laughed at her. I said, today is not my day. Like, the homeopath tells me, go and do a mammography. You tell me, go and see an oncosurgeon. What is this? Fortunately, again, see how God has it planned. Fortunately, again, we have an oncosurgeon right opposite our building in Mumbai, and my father-in-law knew him. And my husband and my kids were in Goa, and I was in Bombay just for this medical checkup. So we go to the oncosurgeon's house at 9 in the night. He looks at the report and he says, tomorrow please get admitted and we have to operate on you. Then too, I didn't take it seriously. The thought came into me and I was like, just stoned. And I came back home, I locked the room, and then I said, is it true? Is it really happening to me? So, the lump was there since 5 months, the breast swelling was there 2 months prior, and I just ignored these symptoms. So that was really the sad part of it.
So the first sign is that lump. So you said your lump was the size of a mustard seed.
Yes.
So
A tiny thing, like normally you get a little pimple, you just, play with it. You have a wart, how you play with it?
Yeah.
I had it right here, I would just play with it without realizing. I had no clue about it.
Right.
So that's the reason at Muskaan, when we started Muskaan, one of the sole objectives was to make people breast aware, to create cancer awareness, to teach them about early detection and cancer prevention,
Right. Now you all started Muskaan, you said in 2006, am
Yes,
I right?
yes.
When you all got together, you all must have laid out your objectives, that this is what we aim to achieve,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But then you all needed a lot of training.
Yes.
Who trained you all?
See, initially we trained ourselves. It was just by practice, and in the course we had some people, we took some courses also, not courses in general in particular, but see, with experience, like I used to tell people that I was ignorant. I, ignored, and I decided not to be breast aware or teach myself or Google the net and see what are the signs and symptoms for any type of cancer, forget breast cancer. Like, we consider that having blood pressure or diabetes is normal, and then we'll avoid not eating sweets, having less salt intake, we exercise, we do yoga, we go on these fat diets to become slim. But we will never go and sit and educate ourselves on the signs and symptoms of cancer. This is the mistake I did. So our first objective was to sensitize people, tell them, come on, go, read about it, talk to your doctors, go for your regular examinations, do a breast self-examination, because a lady is the first person who can detect, like we ladies are blessed, breast cancer is something that you can see or you can feel, and it can be detected in its early stages. Unlike other cancers which is inside the organ, you can't see them or feel them. Breast cancer is something like if you see a swelling on your breast, if you see a redness, you see the breasts are sore, or if you see a nipple discharge, or if you feel that the skin looks like an orange peel. These are some of the signs and symptoms that you can see. Or lump, when you feel. You're in the shower, if you do a breast self-examination, you can feel that lump, So these things are in your hand. You can detect it by yourself. So for this, we didn't need any training. It was just, educating people on this.
Right.
And the second part was providing the much needed psychosocial support and emotional support to the people who were going through cancer, and more important, to the caregivers who were looking after them.
Yes.
So that again came with a lot of experience, because I went through it. So I knew the questions that I needed to ask the doctors, and at times the doctors are busy. It's not their fault also, because they can't spend so much time with the patient.
Right.
So this Muskaan was created where people could get together, they could sit, they could talk, they could share their experiences. So with experience and meeting people, we got expertise,
Yes.
and we did all these like sensitizing people through walkathons, organizing street plays, theatre, and doing a lot of presentations in schools, colleges, workplaces, even in kitty parties. Even if we had 10 women, we would go and talk to them about, make them aware. Our main objective was to just sensitize them and teach them how to do a breast self-examination, which is free, it's economical, you can do it in the privacy of your own room.
Right.
Yes.
So that was our main objective.
Correct. Now you all started with 2 or 3 of you all.
Yes, just the
And
two
then,
of us.
and then you said you all started having these, presentations at tea parties, kitty parties.
In schools, colleges, in the village panchayats.
How did you all gather these?
You know what? The moment we started and we had 1 or 2 talks, there were volunteers who joined in. They had people going through cancer in their own family, so they
Right.
wanted to volunteer. We had cancer survivors who till now didn't want to speak about it. But when they saw us speaking about it, they came forward and they joined the group. So we had a lot of supporters, and wherever we would go for presentations, we would have a lot of survivors with us, and they would share their stories. And then when we would take questions from the audience, there would be people, okay, so and so in my family has this. Oh, now I can understand why she was so, agitated when I asked her this morning, like, can I do for you? And she got agitated. So now they understand the emotions. Like, no 2 days in a cancer person going through cancer is the same.
It's the same.
Some days you're feeling totally depressed, low, dejected, and you want people to give you attention. There are some days you feel, no, I've fought it, I'm courageous, I don't want to be dependent on people. So if someone comes to you and says, oh, see, don't go to the market, I'll do this for you. You feel, why? I'm not handicapped. I can do it. So the caregiver is confused. Okay, am I supposed to go and offer my services? To what extent can I go? What questions should I ask? How should I ask? How should I deal? And same applies to the patient as well. So all this happened through a lot of overwhelming support from volunteers, from cancer survivors themselves, and from the caregivers.
Nanda, you said you had gone for this talk of Dr. Salkar's.
Yeah.
What encouraged you, motivated you to go for this talk? Normally, there are so many talks happening, right? We have
True.
talks all the time.
True.
No, we are like,
Exactly.
let's watch a movie instead. All the time.
Yeah.
Soglang zata.
Sorry, true. No, actually,
So what got you to do
no,
that?
actually, the same thing. I mean, I was feeling kind of that lump somewhere. Just, I mean, it was a coincidence. Maybe some few days prior to the talk, I was feeling kind of a lump, and then all of a sudden I saw that Dr. Sarkar is going to give a talk. So I said, okay, fine, let's join in. And of course, basically it was the, normally the Mahila Mandal, we always take some kind of camps, doctors camps
You'll
and talks.
organize a
We
lot.
always organize. So it was like part and parcel of my, I'm there in the Mahila
Mahila
Mandal.
Mandal.
So then it was my duty also to go and join in. So that is the reason I went and I listened. Actually, there were 50 ladies that day, and I was the only one, the lucky one I should say, who got, detected.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is so surprising and to a certain extent shocking to hear you saying the word. I was
Lucky
one
one.
of the lucky.
Of course,
women.
I should say I'm the lucky one,
Yeah.
because see, otherwise I would not have gone specially for all this checkup. Because when you're not aware of all these things, I mean, that when we always say, why me, so we are not actually prepared for the future journey, because that cancer, see, that C word itself is so difficult, you cannot just adjust to that treatment
You don't
and all,
run away from it. You don't want to be associated with
No. So and when the talk was there, I felt, I mean, it was like, okay,
was for you.
It was for me. Actually, I felt it was for me.
But there are times, sorry Nanda, but there are times when you go for, there is an incident that happens and you feel that the person who is actually speaking generally is actually speaking with you. It's like a personal
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
And I
yes.
think we as women are very intuitive.
Yes.
True.
We will feel this.
Yes.
Not to put down men, but I think women are much more open and we listen more carefully. We are accepted. But like you said, accepting that you have cancer is very traumatic.
True.
The first question that comes to mind is, why me? What have I done? Did I do something in my past? Have I done something in my present that has caused this? So the why is first. I think the second is, I don't want to accept this. This is not me. You want to run away from it.
That's
Am
the
I right?
last.
True,
That's
true,
the last
true,
that you do. Acceptance comes last.
Yes. But you do want to. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's
You don't
just
want to.
denial. First you are in denial, then you're angry. Why me? Then the blame game begins. Guilt starts. Then you start bargaining with God.
But what is the
Yeah.
guilt about?
You feel guilty. Maybe you haven't done certain things right. That's led you to here. Or if you could have done something, the things the way it should have been. See, we all are human beings. Then you go on that rewind mode. You start analyzing situations because you want to feel guilty. It's not that you're guilty. You force yourself to feel guilty and blame yourself. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I didn't do this. That's why I got it. If I had done this thing this way, maybe I wouldn't have. So that guilt, have I been truthful to myself? Have I looked properly, taken care of my family? Like your mind just, it's on that, very rickety and rockety, that roller coaster ride, that emotions, that anger, pain, hurt, resentment, denial. And last, when you get tired, nothing, then you say, okay, finally I accept it. Like it happened to me. I cried for an hour or so. My mother-in-law kept banging at the door, come out. And after crying and blaming and doing all the stuff, I just said to myself, I said, enough, now what? Do I want to sit and cry, or do I want to face the world, get over it and get moving with my life? Because my kids, I was just 39. 39 is not an age. And my kids were just 16. I think my younger son was 11 and my daughter was 9. So, you feel that. Then also, like a mother, you feel that I live for them, I did the best. Now also, I want to be the strongest for them, I want to be a model. So stop crying. Just get on, bounce back and get on, fight it. But no need to cry. And that, I think, was the last day that I literally made an effort to cry. It makes you strong.
Did you spend, like Babita, did you spend, your time trying to find where's the blame, or blaming yourself, trying to see where did this come from? Maybe it's in my family. It is, I've heard sometimes it's hereditary.
Yeah, many a times it is hereditary, but in my case it wasn't hereditary, and I was not aware of all these things. But then, I have my journey, my life journey has been always, ups and downs. And I have, I've always accepted, I have accepted, so when this thing came up, I always felt, okay, fine, this is God's new paper to me, a new question paper, and I have to answer it.
The exam, yes.
Because I always used to believe that whoever is the favorite, God's favorite, he always gives the toughest paper to that person. And
such a lovely way
yes,
that is you're his favorite, and he's giving you a second chance.
Yes.
How many of us are lucky to get a second chance to live?
But see, I was so lucky enough that I felt the lump and the talk was there. So, I felt like he's giving me all those question papers, the tough ones, but at the same time, he's also giving me some solutions to it. It is always, and of course, he has been helping me out throughout. Okay, so I was actually in the beginning, I felt like how Babita said, ki, why me, what wrong I did. Because, even at home also, mine was a joint family, my in-laws and all. And, with my work and all, everything, I used to take care that I used to cook everything at home. A proper diet for my family, everything. I used to take care. I have 2 children. At that time, my daughter, the younger one, she was in the 5th. My elder one in the college, 11th, he was in 11th. So they were small. So, tiffins and all this thing. I used to take proper care of my whole family. And then I was wondering why all these things went wrong, where it went wrong, because I don't have outside food, nothing. And still this has happened to me. So then I said, okay, fine, it's part of my life, I have to accept it. But then what happened when the test and all were going on, the sonography, the mammography report was we were supposed to get in the evening on the 27th, it was a Saturday. And no, it was a Friday. And we did not get it till evening. The doctor said, okay, fine, at least I will mail you. And we did not get the mail. That is the time, when I saw my husband came with, okay, the reports have not yet come. When I saw him, that, fear in his eyes, that is the time when I broke down. Because, see, at any given time, I always used to be strong with the family, okay, fine. I have to support the family. And when I saw that fear in his eyes, but still I was keeping strong and I was telling him, okay, fine, don't worry, nothing will happen, and then he said, okay, fine, we have one of our family friend, he always tells me, I'm like his daughter, his Dr. Priyolkar, a very senior surgeon. So then we said, okay, fine, we will go and meet him because I do have total, faith in him. So then we went to him. Then he said, okay, fine, you have to do this FNAC and all. And of course, we got the reports. Dr. Mohan Raikar also helped me do that FNAC report. He immediately gave me the report. And then we went to Bombay for the operation.
Okay, so you did your surgery there.
Yeah, in Fortis.
This FNAC. What exactly is that? Can you just
that is they prick in that that lump which is there, and they remove some kind of a fluid, and then the test is done just to rule out whether it is positive or not.
All right. Yeah. So, and Babita, what about you? What sort of test did you get done?
No, when I just told you, 2 months prior, I had a swelling in the breast, and FNAC was done, but the reports were normal. So, then that's the reason we didn't probe into it or try to, find out more about it. So for me, we just did the normal mammography, and then the next day I was admitted and I was operated. The doctor was thinking it's going to be a lumpectomy. But then he said, we'll take a call on the OT table. So during the surgery, they realized that no, the breast had to be removed, and I was totally unaware. So when I regained consciousness and I saw myself all bandaged up, so that is one feeling that I can never ever forget in my life, you know, because I feel breast is a symbol of femininity and beauty.
Yes.
And had I known it earlier, maybe I would be little prepared. But when you just wake up and you see you're all bandaged and one breast is not there, that the thought that am I going to look beautiful to my husband anymore? Am I of any value? And those thoughts, it really worried me for one day. And then again, acceptance. And here I would like to thank my husband a lot, because he was there. He said, it doesn't matter. As long as you're alive, you're healthy, you've accepted it. We are together in this. So what are you worrying? There are so many ways. We can do a reconstruction. You can wear a prosthesis.
Right.
Like my mind didn't go on the alternatives. But he had already thought, he said, there's nothing that you're losing. So why are you afraid? And it doesn't, matter to me at all. So that was the biggest consolation that I got from him, that no, I'm wanted.
Right.
So a person going through cancer, and especially breast cancer, when you don't have a breast, that feeling of being loved and being wanted,
it's very important. You need to have that.
Yes.
Babita, it is not just during that time. I think generally we all need that, but I think especially during that time.
Yeah.
Now, Nanda, you were speaking about food. Nanda spoke about food, and she said that, she was thinking, I never get food from out. I cook and eat home cooked food.
True.
So, is from all the research that you all have done, does food affect the cancer?
I feel, of course, it is not proved and proven, but the thing is, I feel now, see, when we go out, maybe for any session, we have tea in the, it's a disposable cups, the plastic coating. Maybe that is one of the reason. Maybe even the bottles
even
which
the
we
preservatives. See, nowadays we are most dependent. We all are working people, and we don't have enough time to cook. And plus, the children today, they don't want that really home cooked food. They don't relish it. They want to go and eat out. They want to eat the fast food. So these highly processed foods, and food with high protein or your red meat, excessive consumption of fatty foods, I think they lead to obesity, and obesity is one of the causes for cancer. But there has not proven any direct link between food and cancer.
Because I do know people who have been slim.
Like I was vegetarian.
Suddenly been told they are slim. And they have been told, because you were speaking about obesity.
No,
and and they've got cancer.
Yes.
They run, they exercise, they're doing yoga.
There's no reason. I think nowadays people have also started understanding that even stress triggers it off. Like especially women, I feel, I may be wrong. I may be definitely wrong, but I feel like we women, we always, our priority is our family, our children. We forget ourselves. We just want to be there for the family. But we also have our own emotions. We have our needs. We have our wants, which we keep suppressing. No matter how much we do for the family, there will be days when you feel, why am I only always concerned? Nobody bothers about me.
Right.
So I'm tired, but still I'm working towards the family. Nobody's bothered about me. So somewhere I feel even stress to some extent could be one of the factors.
So the priority of women normally is the family.
Family first.
Right, you come second. We have much more to talk about, but now it's time for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Navin Times Talk from the Heart. We are on conversation with Babita Agarwal and with Nanda Kare, both cancer survivors. You all have been speaking about, Babita, you spoke about the surgery that you had. So you had the mastectomy, where the entire breast is taken out.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
What about you, Nanda? Was yours also a mastectomy?
No, mine was lumpectomy. They only removed that affected lump.
Okay.
But mine was specially done in Fortis at Mulund, because doctor said that when I was on the OT table, they would remove that lump, they would do the test, and they would see how much severe it is. I mean, if it is required, then they would remove the hole. Otherwise, what they do is, after removing that lump, they seal all the edges.
Okay.
You know, that it doesn't spread. So that is one, maybe that was the new thing that had come up at that time. Yeah.
And how long was the surgery? Did it go on for many years, or?
Maybe an hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about yours? How
I
long
think
was
around
that?
4.5 hours. Yeah, because even for me, they had first thought that a lumpectomy would do, and then they decided no, it was best
to take it
off because they came and they asked my husband. So, and they said there could be chances that it would spread. So then he said, no, we are okay with it, you can remove the breast.
All right.
So,
First and foremost, knowing that you have cancer is the biggest hurdle. Accepting it is very traumatic. Second is, you know, all the treatments that you have to go through. Third is a surgery, getting a part of your body removed. Now you had a lumpectomy, you said,
Yes.
right? Whatever it is, you are under the knife.
yeah.
It is, I'm sure, very difficult.
It is.
Babita, how did it affect you? You said that the first thought that came to your mind is, you know, will my husband look at me in the same way? Will
Yeah.
I be loved? Will people look at me in the same way? What else? What were some of your thoughts?
See, for me, the most difficult part of my journey was the emotional part. I would say the physical part was well taken care by the doctors, by the medical team, you know, the medications. I could ease off the pain. But the emotional part here, I'm talking about my fear. See, it's very sad. In India, we grew up seeing movies where, you know, if the hero or the heroine has cancer, the first question they ask the doctor is, "Kitna time?"
Kitna time hai?
And the doctor will tell you 6 mahine, a year. You know, I think we have all grown up seeing the movies like Anand and stuff like that. So when I regained consciousness, and after 2-3 days when I accepted, okay, I've gone through cancer, I don't have a breast anymore, now what? So that fear, am I going to be fine? Am I going to recover completely? If I recover, will it come back again?
Mhm.
And the worst fear was the fear that I saw in the eyes of my children. That broke me. See, the kids, they feel their parents, you know, they're strong.
And they're going to be there for a
Always.
long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
They're the
they go
role
to
model.
school and then they meet other children, and the children, they know, go as a small place.
Yes.
Oh, your mom's got cancer. Is she fine? So when the kids would come back from school, they would rush into my room, open the door to see whether I'm alive. I would feel that they just come to check on me. Oh, she's there. Okay,
She's-
fine.
yes, yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I was in that constant fear. What if I'm not alive anymore? Who's going to take care of my children? Who's going to marry my daughter? Because cancer today is still a taboo. No matter how civilized we've become, how educated we've become, we always feel it's contagious. It could be hereditary. If the mother has it, the daughter is going to have it. Then it's a taboo. Who's going to marry my daughter? And if they go to school, I can protect them at home. But what about in the outside world when they have to answer so many questions? Like people, even I knew that the moment I'm going to go through chemo, I'm going to lose my hair. I had hair till my knees, and that was my pride, like long hair. And whenever earlier I would step up, people would say, "Oh wow, what lovely hair she's got," and I knew that I'm going to lose this hair. So before going in for my chemo, I was in Bombay. I went and I got a wig made, and I decided I won't even let my children see that I've lost hair. You know, you make so many plans because you're fearful inside, you're anxious inside. So the moment my hair started falling, I would just keep collecting the bunches. Oh, the kids should not see. But the kids, you know how smart they are. They saw it and say, "Mom, come, we'll help you to pick up your hair." Then I said, let me just go and shave it off for once and all, you know. So dealing with your loved ones, dealing with your husband, your children, that was the fear that took me a long time to overcome. Then one fine day I said, no, I have to sit down with them and talk to them. So I made the children sit down and said, see, maybe some days I'm going to be happy, maybe some days I'm going to be sad, some days you'll see me crying, some days maybe I won't be able to take care of you guys, but you'll have to accept it. Because you know, I used to fake it. They would come back from school and I would be standing there, put your shoes in the proper place, why haven't you eaten well, what's your homework for today, why haven't you finished your homework? And deep down I would say, God, I just want to lie down, I'm so tired. Some days I wouldn't be able to do it, and I would gather the courage. So I had to literally sit down with them, talk to them, and they understood, you know. So overcoming that fear was the most difficult part. And to date, at times, I still do get that fear. But, you know, cancer has taught me to just bounce back in any adverse situation. Okay, it lasts for a few minutes and you're back. So
Right.
I think that's what I dealt with.
That must have been extremely difficult.
Yes.
Extremely. That fear, I think that fear, most of us have some sort of fear. And I think death is one big one,
Yeah.
right, that we all have.
Yeah, actually what happened is I was operated in Mulund, I said. Dr. Anil Herur was my oncosurgeon. But in the beginning itself, he had told me the whole process. So he made me ready for the operation, for the chemo, everything. So in the beginning itself, he said, I mean, that what would be the stages. And after my operation, he also told me that okay, you have to be prepared for the chemo, and after the chemo you will lose your hair, your nails become black and all that. So I was not worried about the nails, I was more worried about hair, because I had very
That's an identity.
no, and a thick and long hair. Even me too had very thick and long hair.
But we tend to get back beautiful hair after the chemo.
Yes, true, very true, very true. In fact, when the hair come after the all
quality
the
of the
9
hair.
months of the chemo process, I got lovely curly hair and
yeah.
all. And when I used to go to the office and say, "Arey, nice hairstyle, new you have done it. What is that? Perm your hair and all that." But jokes apart, after my the first session of chemo, I told, my daughter was very small. My son was in the college, so he knew, I mean, what is cancer and all. But I made them understand that I will be losing hair, so don't get panicky, because what happens is, unless and until we look in the mirror, we are not aware that we are losing, right? I mean, it's a very tough time, because it comes out in chunks.
It's scary.
It's
it comes out
very
in
scary, bunches,
And then even for me, like you touch your hair and it would just come out.
the patch
It comes
itself
out in
is in your
patches.
hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It
The
is
full
that
bunch is
scary.
in your hair.
Yeah. So then I had prepared them for it. So in the beginning also, when it used to come out, my daughter and all used to come and tell me, "Mama, okay, this thing has gone today. Okay, we'll put oil and all," and she would come and apply oil. So you have to prepare your children also to face all these things.
I just can't believe how honest
children-
you all are about everything that
Yeah.
you all
Yes.
have gone.
You have to
and how
speak
much
about
is-
it.
And how
Yes.
much is smiling.
Yeah.
Given a chance,
You
I
won't
would start
believe.
crying about
I would
it.
tell like other survivors in our meetings. Someone would say, "I was so depressed when I lost my hair." I said, "See, that gave me a chance to experiment with various hairstyles. When we are kids, our parents decide for us what length of hair should be kept, whether they want to plait it, they want to keep it open, or they give that fringe. You know.
Yeah.
So now when I was bald and the hair was growing, like I experimented and I saw myself with different hairstyles at every stage, and I loved the bob cut. I said, "Wow, this really suits me," And then I said, "No more of long hair. I'm going to not keep my hair only to my shoulders." So that gives you that. So you have to take everything in your stride. You have to accept it, and you have to find a funny part to it, or a positive part towards it. I always feel
While
that.
you're going through it, I don't think it is as easy as you all. ladies are
Absolutely
making
not.
it sound.
Absolutely not.
You're
It's-
making it sound like it's absolutely fine, but I don't think it is. It must have been.
It is the
No, but
toughest part of
Maria,
our life.
you have to really understand this, and it's a fact that in the Muskaan group meetings where the survivors we meet and we joke and we giggle and we share our instances, like how when you're wearing a prosthesis it turned around when the other side at church, like what people do when they don't get a proper prosthesis in time, they just stuff it with cloth and stuff
Or
like
cotton
that,
or
or cotton. So funny incidents, and you laugh about it, and there's so much to learn. We always look forward to our monthly meetings, where we are sitting, we are sharing our experiences, we are sharing our diet plans, and it's real lot of fun. So I think everybody who has gone through it or is going through it, if you accept it and you look at it from a different angle, you will always laugh at it. See, diseases like diabetes or hypertension, for lifelong you have to take medication and you have to be careful. With cancer, if it's early detected, it's treated well in time.
Yes.
Even if you've gone through surgery or chemo or radiation, after a while you're done with treatment, then it's in your hands how you want to take your life forward. But if you still want to sit and cry about it and say, oh, I went through a difficult journey and life has been so difficult to me, life has been cruel, it's not going to help in any condition. So I think we all are sitting here laughing because we've just accepted it, we've gone through it and now forgotten about it. It's been 18 years for me now.
Wow.
So totally forgotten about it.
And for you it has been
11 years, 11 years, 11 years. But the thing is, you cannot sit and cry, you know, the whole day. You cannot sit and cry, okay, I'm going through this, this thing is happening, you know. The thing is, when you open up, when you tell people also, you know, you get more advice. Maybe, of course, some are wrong advice, some, you know, some weird also.
Everyone wants
You have
to
to,
know.
But at the same time, I feel as you get blessings also. Many a times people come and say, okay, fine, why don't you do this and that, you know, good
And they will
advices
pray
also you
for
give
you.
it. And they
Yeah.
pray for us,
Yeah.
definitely,
And
definitely.
prayer is so
Definitely.
powerful.
It is.
Definitely.
It is very, very powerful.
Yes.
Now, we have spoken about your treatments. Chemotherapy, both of you all had chemotherapy.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is as bad as everyone knows.
It is the worst.
So worst.
And how long does it last?
Depends on case to
Normally
case.
6, yeah, it depends on case to case, and the duration, the normal duration is 3 weeks, every 3 weeks. 6
Depends on the
cycles. Some people
severity.
take,
Depends
some
on the
people go in
severity.
for 4 cycles, 6 cycles. It all depends on person to person and case to case.
Yes.
But the emotional feelings are the same, whether it is 1 cycle or 6 cycles or whatever it is. Like, I would like to share something very funny. I was in Beach Candy in the daycare for my chemo, and I told myself, I'm not going to Google what is chemo. Let me just take it the way it comes. So I was in this daycare center and I was on this bed, and there were 5 more beds in that center, and this nurse comes in with a big trolley with, you know, big bottles and pipes. The trolley had 3 shelves and everything was full with bottles and everything. Okay, so she came by my bedside. So then I asked her, I said, nurse, ye sabke liye hai? She's saying, no, ye sirf aapke liye. She left the trolley there and she went, and I'm looking at the trolley and I started crying. My husband is there. I said, ye sab mere andar jayega. Like, I couldn't believe it, all those pipes. That scared me for a minute, you know. But then again, how you look at it, the best part was, I was at Beach Candy and there's this sandwich joint, bang opposite, which is famous for its Bombay
chutney,
sandwich and the strawberry milkshake. So the first day I said, I want to eat that. And while you're doing your chemo, you can read, you're normal. Because it's just a saline that's going, a drip that's going through the, chemo is going through the drip. So I would read a book and I'm sipping on my strawberry milkshake. So I would always look forward to those sessions. That chemo was there, that fright was there, but then I would say tomorrow I'm going to eat my sandwich and my, you know.
And the
So you
strawberry
always have to
milkshake, yes.
look at the bright side of it, and then maybe the pain eases a bit.
Right.
So
Now, you had the mastectomy. So what was the constructive surgery that you got done after?
I never got it done.
You didn't?
I didn't opt for it because it's again a painful surgery. And see, it's again a personal choice. They reconstruct your breast, maybe at times on the same table or sometimes after you heal, and then they do it. So I opted for a silicone prosthesis with a special bra. That's what I opted for, and I'm proud to say that nobody can even make out the difference.
Yes. No, you can't.
Yeah. So I didn't want to go through another pain. When my husband has accepted me the way I am, and he told me clearly that I'm always going to love you and I accept you the way you are, I didn't think that I needed to again push myself through so much pain again. And I'm happy I took the decision of not doing a reconstruction.
Right. So you got this done in Goa with your
No, the process is no. Yeah,
from Bombay. You got it.
I got it from initially. I got it from Bombay because see, I went for my surgery and my treatment to Bombay. So for chemos, I would go the first day morning flight. I would go to Bombay, get admitted in the daycare, do my chemo, spend the night in Bombay, and the next day I would come back to Goa. So that's how I did my chemos. So in Bombay, I had this guy, the vendor, who came and he said, "You'll be needing a prosthesis and a bra," and he didn't measure me or anything. He just gave me, looking at me, he gave me a size, and I thought, this is it.
Right.
But once we started Muskaan, then we got to know that you have to literally measure, and then you get the perfect size. And then there are so many varieties, depends on what you want, how much you want to spend. It has to suit everybody's pocket too. So you have in cotton, you have in silicone, you have everything is available. So then we got an idea, and that's how at Muskaan we feel really proud when we literally, you know, the women come, we measure for them, we make them try different sizes, and what suits them the best, then either we order it for them or we give them the vendor's number and they can order it.
So we have
themselves.
vendors in Goa?
No, they are outside. So then we give them the numbers and they contact and they get the prosthesis and the bras. But we at Muskaan also, we do keep. So if anybody wants, we do give it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, did you, once you came to know you were diagnosed, did you connect with any support group? Because you need support in this at this point of time. You get that support, yes, from the family, but you need support from others as well. So
Yes.
did you all, reach out to some support groups?
I wanted to reach out, but unfortunately Goa didn't have any support groups.
Okay.
And maybe that was one of the reasons when we set up Muskaan. One of the main objectives was, apart from creating cancer awareness and stressing on early detection, educating and sensitizing people, providing psychosocial support through support groups was our second main objective. Because see, this journey can't be traveled alone. If you have a loved one, a person, friends, relatives, it becomes easier. Yeah. Because though I had my family, my relatives, I would be talking to people on the phone, but every morning I didn't want to hear, how are you today? Like one day I told my mom, don't ask me this question every day. If I'm not well, I will not answer the phone. So you know I'm not well. So I want to forget something and you'll ask me, how are you today? Have you eaten well? So you know, at days you want to be loved. You want to be with people because you feel that's comforting. You want to talk to someone who has gone through a similar experience because that person is going to understand you better. Like with a family member, you can fake it. Like even if you're feeling pain, you will say, no, I'm fine. But deep down, you want to talk in a... But at times you feel, if every day I'm going to say, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, they'll say, oh God, she's always in pain.
Always in pain.
So they don't want to sit with you. So you want to be with someone, you want to share their experience, you want to talk, you want someone to listen to you all the time. You see, if you have a support group, you feel less lonely, you feel comforted, you feel wanted, you're not judged. That's the most important thing, you're not judged. You are what you are. So support groups really can bring a big change in your life, and since we at Muskaan, I can vouch for it, so can the other members, the survivors and the caregivers, that it's an open platform where we are free to discuss, talk. We share our meal plans at times, you know. What did you try new? What helped you more? Like a simple thing, like one of the side effects is you get sores in the mouth. So somebody will say, oh, I did this, I felt better. Somebody will say, no, but this didn't work for me, this worked for me.
Right.
So coming from a survivor itself has more value than coming from a relative.
Of course.
So support groups are really, really very important.
Nanda, did you reach out to any support?
No. Actually, I was not even aware of any kind of a support group. Muskaan, I came to know only later on. But I always used to keep myself busy watching TV because that serial used to come, you know, and I used to enjoy watching that, or maybe, you know, busy stitching something, like some of the other activities, doing yoga in the morning, some gardening. I used to keep myself whole day busy. Even the juices, even the wheat grass and all, I used to grow at home, you know, to have it fresh. I used to grow in my garden, you know. So whole day I used to keep myself busy.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had a special diet. Were you exercising before you were diagnosed?
Yeah,
Or you
I
started
was
after?
no. I was into yoga before I
Okay.
was diagnosed.
So
Yeah.
yoga is, from what I have spoken to other cancer patients and survivors also, they said that yoga is one exercise that is suitable for all types of cancer.
It helps. It helps.
It helps, but then any form of exercise is important. It could be gardening, it could be cycling, it could be light walking. See, it doesn't have to be very strenuous because your body is weak. But some form of exercise every day is really, really very important to keep you going, to strengthen your heart and lungs, and to, you know, strengthen your muscles. It's really very important.
Did you have a, sorry.
No, but with yoga, I would definitely like to stress why, because, you know, it keeps your mental, you know, that stress which you are going through,
Yeah.
the whole process, it helps you to keep you calm. when you do Kapalbhati, Anulom Vilom and all that, somewhere, because see, the things are so disturbing all the time, okay? But this helps you somewhere. That is what, of course, physical exercise is very, very important. That we have to go through. But this helps for the mind.
The pranayam and the meditation.
Yeah, the basic Kapalbhati, you know, the breathing exercise, the meditation helps you a lot.
Yeah.
So, do you all go for checkups now? How often do you all go for checkups?
Once in a year I go.
For me also now once in a year. Earlier it is every 3 months, then 6 months, then yearly. So I go for a checkup every year.
In the initial, the first year it is like every 3 months, second year it is like after 6 months, and then it is like after 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. Now, to those who have just been detected, or those who have just started their treatment, what would you all both like to say to them? Because it's a frightening time. It's terrifying. It's very traumatic. You all have been there. What would you like, both of you, what would you like to say?
Just love yourself, listen to your doctor, listen to your body.
Yes.
And 4 things: your diet, your exercise, good sleep and mindfulness. Either do meditation, yoga, pursue a hobby. Accept it. The first thing is accept it. And love
that's the most
yourself.
difficult part.
Stop cursing yourself. Just love yourself. Give yourself priority. And if you listen to your doctor, follow him to the T. Along with a proper exercise, diet, mindfulness and good sleep, I think you're sorted.
The first is just open up and tell people, okay, fine, you have this problem, you know, because we normally we hide all these things. No, we are not supposed to tell anybody. That is so, I mean, that is making you more stressful.
Yeah.
Then the second step is go to the doctor, and whatever he's telling you, go through it.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Follow
follow his instructions.
Follow her instructions.
Yes. That's very important.
And for the caregiver who
Yes.
is with the patient, don't force yourself on the patient. Just accept the patient, love the patient, be there, comfort. I think that's what a caregiver can do.
Yeah.
But Babita, now I'm talking on behalf of the caregiver. If someone in my family were to have it, I would want to do everything for them. I do not know when I need to take a step back, but they too need that training. Like you said, you know, as to when to stop, when to take that step back, and when to approach.
Yeah, so that's where, you know, even in support groups, we train the caregivers also. We have done courses where we know what questions to ask, when to ask, how to ask,
Right.
you know.
And I
so
think that's very
that's very important.
That's very
And you have to learn to just be a little patient, because for a cancer survivor, see, I think he has a little upper hand. That I'm sick, I have got cancer.
Yes.
So I'm eligible to feel the way I want to,
Absolutely.
without caring for the feelings of your loved ones or the person who's taking care of you. So they always have that little upper hand. But the caregiver should understand, just accept the person. You go and you offer your help. Try to do things for them. Run their little errands here and there. But if that person is being a little snappy, just understand, okay, not his good moment right now. And then approach again. So you can always Google it, read about it. You can go to a support group where people are trained for this, and you can ask them, how do I approach that? Like I told you, in some of the presentations when we have questions, the child will say, or the lady will say, oh, my mother-in-law was behaving and I was getting irritated. I'm doing so much for her, but still she's not happy.
Yes.
But now I can understand from where it is coming, that she is in pain. She is maybe feeling that she's losing control. So she's snapping at me. She is feeling that, oh, I'm going to take her place. So she's snappy at me, or she's really feeling weak. She needs help and I'm getting a little irritated and she's reacting to it. So there are many factors to it. So I think you have to just accept the person, don't judge the patient, and just be there.
And like you said, I think that training, that knowledge is to be shared with the caregivers.
Yes.
Because for the caregivers, it is difficult as well.
More than the patient.
Because we don't. I'm saying we, but
In general.
in general, we wouldn't know what to do, how to approach it. I wouldn't
True.
know what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for Muskaan being there and getting the opportunity to speak with your ladies. You all are so confident, you all are so positive, and it has been such a pleasure. Not just a pleasure, because there's so much I have gained from speaking with you. And to all our audience, like Babita and like Nanda have said, detection is very important. You need to learn how to check yourself in the privacy of your home, or go and get it checked out. And the earlier it is done, the better the chances of survival.
Yes,
Am
true.
I right?
Yes,
Yes.
Absolutely.
absolutely true.
Would you like to say anything else? Babita did say something to our audience. Would you like to say anything more?
Nothing much, because Babita has already
I said it all.
spoken.
Yes, she
Yeah.
has said it all. She said so
Yeah.
much, and
But I would definitely tell the whoever, I mean,
Our viewers.
our viewers, that always be happy, keep yourself cool, and accept whatever comes through. That
Give
is the way
priority
of
to your own
life.
self.
Yes,
Love
of course,
yourself.
of course, love
I think
yourself.
women, we need to love ourselves first
Yes.
before loving anybody else.
Yes, very true.
so true, so true. Thank you again, both of you all, for coming and sharing your knowledge, your experiences. You all are very courageous. You all truly, truly are. You all are amazing women, and I'm sure the viewers agree with me that we all look up to women like you who've gone through it all and are ready to come out and share with us. It takes more than courage to be in front of a camera and tell them what you've gone through, what's in your heart, and share everything. Thank you to all of you all. Thank you to our viewers for your time, for your attention. I hope whatever Babita and Nanda have said is going to help you in some way. From all of us here, from both these lovely ladies, from Go 365 and the Navin Times, thank you, and until next time, take care.
Thank you, Navin Times, and thank you, Goa 365, for inviting us and expressing, giving us a chance to express our views. Thank you.
Thank you all the viewers for being so patient and listening to us. And a big thank you to you, Maria, for making us so comfortable,
Yes.
I was little
Absolutely.
skeptical, because this is a topic that we've spoken about it so many times in the past that you feel that you have nothing more to share. But the way you conducted the whole program, there were certain parts of me that I had yet not spoken about, which came out so easily, and I could share it with you and the audience. So thank you to you.
It has been our pleasure. So from all of us, bye-bye and thank you again.